Stop today. Luke Hill gets the day off, and Reagan Burford back at second. Leger and Groff and left and center, and Trayson Hughes getting the start today in right field. He had yesterday off, and Maddox deals a first pitch strike to McCutcheon, and we're off and running in Oxford. And 0-2 to start to McCutcheon.
On a chilly day like this with Maddox, you want to see what that velo looks like. 93 both on those fastballs in good locations.
What's it like pitching on a cold day like this?
Well, if they were letting me pitch during a cold day like this, things really got out of hand. But just playing baseball in general, it's just about trying to stay comfortable, and body's just not loose and it's not moving around like it normally would. So just trying to stay as loose as you possibly can. I'll tell you what, a pitcher like Maddox who gets on the mound and just throws, there's not a lot of delayed movement or delayed action between he and the catcher, really helps his infielders as well.
It was 70 degrees yesterday. Had some rain overnight as McCutcheon punches this right side, and Burford in right field makes the play for Ole Miss. And there's out number one.
Yeah, there's a scouting report, 4-3 put out right there when 2 strikes on McCutcheon happened that Ole Miss shifted and Burford was playing short right field, able to get the put out there. But a nice changeup there from Maddox. It's what makes him really difficult. That arm slot, that fastball's got some good run in the 93, 95 range, and he's got that 87-mile-an-hour changeup.
He faces the freshman Kagan Bogenpole. 6'6" freshman, 230 pounds coming into today. They really love what he brings to their ball club. He has 4 hits so far this season, but he's finding his way. The preseason freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference, according to D1 Baseball. That's some high expectations, right, Matt? When D1 Baseball names you preseason freshman of the year.
That's a lot to put on a young ball player, but obviously really well put together. Big cut there on that fastball from Maddox. It's what makes the great players great, though. You got to handle expectations and stress, all of those things.
Two. Riley Maddox in his second career start. He started in the finale against Hawaii, and he'd like to put that one behind him. In just 2 innings of work, he allowed 3 earned runs, 5 total.
See if he goes back changeup here. He's challenged him with the fastball. He's shown him the changeup a few times.
Chopper foul first baseline. Still 3-2.
Yeah, that's good pitch selection there. Had shown him the changeup a few times, seen a bunch of fastballs already. Tries to bury that slider down and into the left-handed hitter. Always difficult to get to as a lefty.
The 8th pitch of the at-bat coming. Ball 4, and a 1-out walk. And Missouri State has a runner on board.
That's a tremendous at-bat right there. Maddox just missed on a few of those. A great eye by Bogenpool to get on the 1-out walk.
Tag Gowler at the plate, and he pops up on the first pitch he sees. Smithwick behind home plate makes the catch, and there's out number 2. And with your back to the infield like that for a catcher, that's a tough play.
It's tough play, and you get that ball's going to spin back towards the field of play, but the wind is blowing dead in from center field too, so always going to be a little bit of a difficult play. But if you're Riley Maddox, after an 8-pitch walk, you would love to see a first pitch pop up on the next batter.
You hear the wind probably back home and that flag moving as well. It's a cold day in Oxford, and I'm amazed to see some of these guys, including Zach Stewart, at the plate in short sleeves. MVC Freshman of the Year last season. He hit 302. Pickoff move and throw, not in time. Boy, Bogenpole was He must have got back by a millimeter.
He was flat-footed, and I'm really actually not sure how he got back in there. He was dead to rights on that move there from Maddox.
Just look at how close this is.
Ooh, barely got that other mid in there.
Another pickoff throw. That one a little off target by Maddox. And if we're talking about big expectations, Zach Stewart, the preseason D1 baseball player of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference. A lot of preseason expectation for this team this season.
Well, if Stewart's able to do that but hit that ball fair, he's going to be running for a long time because Ole Miss is in a shift right now, and Fisher is currently playing double play depth at second base as Burford is again in short right field.
Bounced right side and easy for Ross. Steps on first, and no score through the top half of the first.
But that low three-quarter arm slot, see that fastball to run, upper 80s and the low 90s, slider and a changeup. So similar stuff to Maddox, and a gamer who's seen a lot of innings over the course of his career.
Yeah, he has 71 in the third innings last year. Here's Ole Miss's offensive lineup, and of course, Jackson Ross, 3 games in a row with a home run.
There's hot, and then there's whatever Jackson Ross is going on. I mean, this guy is seeing everything, and you can just see how comfortable he is in the plate. And we'll see him in a few hitters, but, man, he just looks the part.
Defensively, for Missouri State, McCutcheon, Stewart, and Chambers in the outfield, Epstein at short, Gallert and Kelly at the corners, and Rodriguez at second base. Dylan Leach, no stranger to the SEC. He's behind the dish today. And that wind beginning to howl down on the field as Ethan Groff steps in, coming into today with back-to-back 3-hit games. And he has 3 3-hit games now this season. Starting to really find his groove. This Ole Miss offense got off to a rough start, Matt, but, I mean, like we covered earlier, they are starting to find their groove.
Well, and they're playing complete baseball. I mean, last night alone we saw several stolen bases. They were really aggressive on the base pass. See Groff pop that one up in foul territory.
Kelly covers ground, makes the catch. And there's out number 1.
Really just, for as tough a start as it was defensively as well, I mean, they're just playing well in all phases of the game. The pitching, I think, coming into the year was the biggest question mark for this team. They really hung in there most of the year, minus a couple of games, a couple innings here or there. The hitting has just been what was slow to get started, but, man, are they red hot.
Andrew Fisher, he too is starting to find his way at the plate. He's 6 for 10 at the plate in his last 3 games. He started the season 1 for 16. Those are his numbers at Duke from a season ago. Counts even 1-1. And Fisher gets a piece of it. We talked about Day being a weekend starter at Tarleton State. Tarleton State was 10-3 in the games that Hunter Day started on the mound. Now, he was 6-2 in all of those starts. Still very good. Fisher just puts the bat on the baseball and lines it the other way for a base hit. I think that's the first time that Fisher's gone the other way this season.
Well, and right before that, you see him just stay on this changeup away. Does a really good job just getting that bat extended out there. Missouri State shifted, so that was Gallert at shortstop as opposed to their everyday shortstop. So one of those times where the defensive shift puts a position player out of position and they're unable to make a play. But for Ole Miss, a one-out base hit here in the first.
Here's Jackson Ross. He's 11 for 15. Throw down to first base, and Fisher's back. But Ross is 11 for 15 at the plate in his last 5 games.
It's pretty good. Again, there's hot, and then there's Jackson Ross right now. And you see that OPS right now is through the roof. And what I love about his swing is just how quiet and compact it is for a guy with such pop. So there's no wasted movement, just real calm, real quiet. Gives him an opportunity to adjust to whatever he sees at the plate.
His teammates refer to him as Sergeant Jackson Ross.
I can see it.
It's a pretty good name for a leader. I mean, anybody would be willing.
And he's got a ton of room on the right side as Missouri State has shifted again. He's able to punch one through. We saw Ole Miss hit and run a ton last night in their first midweek matchup. Second baseman Rodriguez will have to cover double duty here on any double play opportunities.
Watches that go by. You'd think on a 3-0 count Ross would have the green light.
Well, it's, he probably did, but some guys they want to see one before they take a hack at it.
Gets under this out to left, carrying back, but Chambers gets under it to make the catch, and Fisher's back to first base.
You can see just how much that wind is moving on that route out there by Chambers. I mean, the flag, I feel like, is not doing it really any justice right now, but you saw him go way back and have to kind of come darting back in to make that play. There it is.
Yeah.
Complete opposite of yesterday. I mean, it was a late spring type feel to it, wind howling out. Today, quick turnaround, chilly and blowing in, man. It's quite the difference.
We've come back to February, that's for sure. Swing and a miss, throw down to first, and no tag applied by Kelly. He had trouble with the throwdown. But, we talked about Jackson Ross being hot, and Will Furness, who's at the plate, he too. He's homered in his last 3 games. All 3 of his hits this season are home runs. Down the first base line and foul. And if you're a pitcher, you like being ahead 0-2 on a guy like Furness right now.
Yeah, anytime he can gear up for a fastball, that is not a good strategy against somebody like Will Furness, who's got the ability to go the other way for power and just incredible pull side power.
Furness yesterday went 1 for 3 against Little Rock, and that one hit was a 379-foot towering blast into left field. Came off the bat at 98 miles an hour. Not his hardest hit or longest home run. Strike 3 call, and Ole Miss strands one on first base. No score through 1 in Oxford. 21 conference titles, 12 NCAA regional appearances. Surely, Missouri State's going to miss Coach Gutton in the future. But man, oh man, what a career.
That is what they call a good run,
Yeah.
To put it mildly. And they've really built a very consistent, see this ball ripped by Chambers down right field line for a base hit.
Chambers veers towards second base after Hughes had trouble with the baseball out there and right. And a leadoff double for Logan Chambers.
Yeah, you see Chambers just turn on that changeup inside. Hughes just had a tough time getting over to it. We'll see if they rule that a clean double or if they a single and an error. But nonetheless, runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the second. But just to finish that thought, I mean, just what an unbelievable job taking a program and elevating it to the point where they became national contenders there for a good while. And just an unbelievable job. The longevity of that career is just really impressive.
Brings up Nick Rodriguez, and he's under the first pitch he sees, and it's out of play. And you were right. Chambers single and move over to second base on the error. Rodriguez, hometown, Tampa, Florida. He hit nearly 300 a season ago. Pickoff move to second. Chambers back in time. Rodriguez in his second year at Missouri State. He started his career at Charleston Southern. And he checked at it, but he did not go around, according to Randall Montgomery down the third base line. 1-1. Chopper and fouled off. In all 7 of Missouri State's games, Nick Rodriguez has at least 1 hit in all 7. In fact, just 1 hit in each game played this year. It's also his 64th consecutive start as Maddox goes to second base again.
That was a pick move that was on Randall. You could see him flash the glove there, trying to sneak in behind Chambers.
Missouri State picked 2nd in the MVC this season, right behind Indiana State. High fly ball to center field. The wind may knock this down. And Groff under it, makes the catch. Chambers tagging from second base, and the throw is late. So now the Bears have a runner on third base, 1 down here in the second.
Yeah, it's going to be tough sledding out there to hit a ball dead center today, but good job getting the runner moved over to third base.
Could you tell Ethan Groff is a little cold?
He looked a little chilly out there. When you see Groff out there, you're very grateful for the inside booth that we get to call this game from.
Hack and miss for Dylan Leach. 0-1. Leach has had his fair share of SEC experience. He started his career at Arkansas, and last year he was at Missouri. And I don't think that hit him. Smithwick down the first base line. Chambers didn't think about it. I'm surprised that didn't hit Dylan Leach.
Yeah, it was close. Good job by Smithwick just keeping that in front, but almost catches that front foot right there. Good job by Smithwick just to keep it in front. Chambers might have been able to get home if he saw it right away, but we'll reset nonetheless.
Leach rolls this down the first base line, and he's behind in the count 1-2. Because Leach he has SEC experience, he has faced Ole Miss plenty of times in his career, but he only has 1 hit against the Rebels. And that came back in 2021 when he was a Razorback. Strike 3 call. Big second out for Riley Maddox.
That's a big punch out right there from Maddox. Watch this two-seamer just come right back over Main Street. Locks Leach up. That's what Maddox is able to do with that two-seamer coming down in that 3/4 arm slot. Really nasty to those left-handed hitters.
Cody Kelly at the plate and looks at the first pitch strike. Kelly last season, .211 hitter, played 46 games. Big hack, and he's down 0-2. Ball 1. Missouri State coming off a series loss last weekend to Southern Miss, and they've just hung around Hattiesburg. They've been in Oxford a couple of days, just hanging out, waiting for this one to come. Just off the mark, 2-2. They fell in that series down in Hattiesburg 4-3, taking game 2, 3-1, and the finale they lost 5-4. Runner on third, 2 down. No score so far in Oxford. Cody Kelly's battled back 3-2.
Some really good pitches there from Maddox. Nice job by Kelly laying off that slider down and in.
Payoff pitch. Inning continues. And the 9-spot hitter, Tyler Epstein, comes in. Second walk today for Riley Maddox, his 5th walk of the season. And the 194 hitter this season, Epstein, has the chance to put his Bears on top with runners on the corners and 2 outs. In his first season at Missouri State, pass ball gets to the backstop. Smithwick pursues. Chambers comes home. And the Bears have an early lead.
You see that one just, Maddox kind of spiked it down and away, and Smithwick was unable to get his body out in front and lock that one up. Big first run for Missouri State. Ole Miss has looked really good once they've gotten out in front in leads with early in the games. Struggled, it has seemed, since when the opposing offenses strike first.
Yeah, and in these last 3 games, you're right, it's been Ole Miss that has jumped out in front first and jumped out in front in big ways, big margins.
Always makes you feel a little bit better when somebody steps up there and hits a 3-run bomb in the first inning. I can kind of let loose a little bit.
That's what Will Furness did yesterday. Up in the zone, strike 2. Ole Miss fell behind early last Friday night against High Point, and they lost in that game. Epstein stays alive. That was a shocking Friday night loss. But then they came back and pummeled High Point in the final 2 games. 10-run rule in the second, and then 25-2 the finale. Epstein doing a good job of staying alive.
Yeah, Missouri State's done a really good job of fighting off some tough pitches. I mean, Maddox's pitch count only giving up 1 hit. Pitch number 43 upcoming.
On the ground left side, past Fisher and into left field, base hit. Kelly hits third, he's on his way home. And Missouri State's up 2-0 here in the second inning.
See that slider just up enough. Tough angle there for Fisher, trying to knock that one down. But Missouri State doing a really good job here with 2 outs after the punch out with third base, runner at third, less than 2 outs. Come back with back-to-back runs with 2 outs, well, 2-0.
Move to first, and Epstein's back in time. Jake McCutcheon up for a second time today. Under this left side and curls out of play. Grounded out his first time up. McCutcheon had a great series against Southern Miss down in Hattiesburg. 5 for 11 in the series. Had 2 RBIs as well. And in the finale, had a 2 RBI single to put the Bears up 4-2 in the 4th, but fortunately for MSU, that got away from them. 0-1, put in play left side. And Fisher charges in and makes the play. 2-0, the Bears on top of Old.
In Oxford during regional play a few years back, but the 2 teams did not meet. But yeah, that was, if you would have put that one in front of me, that is not what I would have thought. So
first meeting since 2005. As Leger bounces it down the third base line, fair ball. Gauntlet throws across the diamond and in time. It's a web gem for the third baseman.
It's hard to do it any better than this. You see this ball goes right over the bag. Does a great job of getting his feet set. just makes an absolute, throws a laser beam over to first base, but that is a tremendous play. And as a third baseman, you have no momentum going your way. The only thing you can try to do is set your feet and get the ball out as quickly as you can. Tremendous job there.
Smithwick fouls off the bunt. Freshman from Oxford, a graduate of Oxford High School.
Good off-speed pitch there from Day.
Three pitches, 3 strikes. His second strikeout today.
You saw Day go back to that changeup back-to-back and able to get the freshman Smithwick lunging. Well done there, the veteran arm from Missouri State.
He has a 2-0 lead. His offense last inning got 2 runs off 2 hits and an Ole Miss error. And obviously with the 2-0 lead, Ole Miss's offense is hot, right? But you have more confidence coming into this inning on the mound.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, your offense jumps out and gets momentum, and your job as a pitcher is to go out and keep momentum, right? You throw up a 0 every time your offense scores, and you're able to get your guys back in the box and still swing with the lead.
And Burford lets it be, but now he's behind in the count, 1-2. Burford went 2 for 3 against Little Rock last night. Also back-to-back games with a home run. And of his 6 RBIs this season, 5 of them have come in the last 2 games. Just a reoccurring trend for this Ole Miss hitters. Swing and a miss. Goes down swinging. 3 strikeouts for Hunter Day. Having himself a day.
step up off that bench, though, trying to get that offense going.
He's got Trayson Hughes at the plate. What have you liked from Hunter Day today, number 29 on the hill for Missouri State?
He's just mixed his pitches really well. See, that's first pitch change up there to the left-hand hitting Hughes. Anytime a pitcher can pitch backwards to guys, it makes it a lot more difficult to game plan against you. So he's just doing a really good job competing right now.
Hunter Day, the transfer from Tarleton State, he was their weekend starter. He was the only pitcher on that staff to throw all 13 weekends. He also allowed the 7th fewest walks in the Western Athletic Conference. He walked 19 batters. Struck out 56. He also allowed the fewest home runs in the WAC. Only allowed 2 home runs against the conference. And Ole Miss has been a team that's been hitting the ball very, very far lately. So I was very curious to see how this matchup would go today.
Well, he's doing a great job of keeping him off balance. You can see Hughes really way out on his front foot on several of these foul balls.
Strike 3. 4th strikeout today for Hunter Day.
So several off-speed pitches right there, and goes back inside with that two-seam fastball. If you're Hughes, I mean, you can give up on the inside, but with the velo that Day has, you got to be able to try to pull the trigger if he does come inside. But really well executed 2-strike fastball there from Day.
4 strikeouts, 2 looking. And that brings up the freshman Braden Randall. 1 for 8 so far this season. Getting the start at shortstop today and giving Luke Hill the day off. One and one. Crowd didn't agree.
Yeah, that strike zone's been moving north as the game has gone on. It's been both ways, though. Maddox has gotten several of those strikes up in the zone.
And that nearly hit him. Braden Randall was originally committed to Texas, but he opened up his recruitment and flipped it to Ole Miss. He credited the coaches. Said they're players, coaches. He really got along with them, liked what they do. Said they were very smart. And the coaches feel the same way about Braden Randall. They love this youngster. And the count's 3-2, fouled off.
Good job by Randall. Working this count full. Day's done a really good job staying ahead of these Ole Miss hitters. See if he attacks back at that fastball or goes off speed.
Ball 4. Just the 3rd walk issued this season for Hunter Day.
That's what you want out of the 9-hole. Flip that lineup over with somebody on base. Groff step into the plate.
Eric Loomis getting loose, the righty, redshirt junior from St. Louis, Missouri. And Groff went around. 0 for 1 today. Pop out to first, his first time up. He was 3 for 6 against Little Rock last night. Back-to-back games with 3 hits for Groff.
Day again getting out to that 0-2 start on Groff, and you can now try to bury that breaking ball again. Can go upstairs to change the eye level of Groff. He can do whatever he wants now. 0-2.
A wee bit tight. 1-2. Runner breaks, but it doesn't matter. Groff gets plunked. Back-to-back free passes by Hunter Day. And now Ole Miss has something cooking here in the third.
This is another way to reinvent the hit and run. See Groff take that fastball off the back knee. But was wondering if Ole Miss would get aggressive again, as we saw last night. All of a sudden, they got something working with Fisher coming to the dish.
Day has looked good until that walk and hit by pitch.
Yeah, that's what good lineups do, though. I mean, it can just be you leave the door cracked and then kick it open in a hurry, and all of a sudden get the walk and hit by pitch, and all of a sudden you got the big thumpers coming up.
Andrew Fisher did not go around. Randall Montgomery, the third base umpire, 1-0 to start to Fisher. Runners on first and second base for Ole Miss. Fisher gets a piece. Ole Miss went in order last inning offensively for the first time since last Saturday. That was game 2 of the High Point series. And Fisher lets it be, 2-1. What's changed here for Day in the third?
Well, again, he gets off to that good start against Groff and just got away from him. You know, I think Ole Miss is starting to pick up the spin a little bit on that breaking ball. And after you've seen somebody once, you just start to pick up a little bit more each time they throw a pitch at you. And it's also now his pitch number 45 coming up.
Two-two.
I also hear the energy out of the Ole Miss dugout. I mean, kind of, I don't want to say sleepy to start, but certainly been way more vocal in the last 5 or 6 hitters.
Ball 4. Bases are loaded for Jackson Ross. Walk, hit by pitch, walk.
We are going to have a change.
Coming in, bases loaded, 1 down. Your objective obviously is to get outs, but I mean, you got to limit the damage here as much as you can.
Yeah, that's right. Again, you come in we talked a little bit about this last night. You come in bases juice like this, you just got to get an out. Try to get out with less than 2 runs, really. You basically give up on that guy at third base, knowing Ross can just pop onto the outfield and knock a run in. So your job is to come in, hit your spots, try to get that second out, and then go to work.
Ross flew out to left his first time up, and he sees the first pitch. Bases loaded. Randall at third, Groff at second, and Fisher at first. Pops out of the mitt of Leach behind the dish. Runners stay put. Ross comes into today 4 straight games with the home run. 5 homers in his last 4 games. Strike 2.
And Ross saw that breaking ball first pitch for strike 1. He might have been looking for that spinner again. Loomis snuck that fastball right in.
Just misses.
As close as you get there, partner. Now bases loaded, 1 out, punch out.
Loomis has yet to allow a run this year in 5 innings of work. Yanked down the left field line, deep back there, and down for a base hit. Randall's in to score, as is Groff. Fisher stays put at third. Jackson Ross stays hot.
Ross, just extra base hitting machine. Watch this backup breaking ball. You see how Ross just throws his hands towards the third base dugout, trying to clear the barrel to the baseball. I mean, that is professional hitting 101 from Jackson Ross. Again, there's hot, then there's Jackson Ross hot.
Ross's second double this season. He now has 16 RBIs. And that brings up Will Furness. Furness 3 for 12 this season coming into today. Those 3 hits being home runs. And the infield plays in for Missouri State. Tie game here in the third.
Got the infield in and 3 defenders over on the first base side. So this is one of those times, if you're Furness, you just want to hit one on, you always want to hit on the barrel, I guess, right? But you got the percentages and the odds in your favor if you can put the barrel on the ball down on the ground too. So you don't necessarily have to swing for the downs. You got plenty of opportunities to put one through on the left side.
Those runs charged to Day. We're tied up at 2.
Good off speed there from Loomis. Had Furness way out front. And if you're at third base, if you're Fisher, you're seeing anything down angle, you're going to home.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Big out for Missouri State. 2 down.
Yeah, it was just power on power right there. Rears back, and Furness was able to get a piece of it. Nice catch there by Leach behind the plate. Bring up Leger. The 2-out RBI or 2-out opportunity.
Ethan Leger 0 for 1 today with the ground out back in the second inning. And he hits this one high in the air, left center field. This ball is up against the wall. Ole Miss takes the lead and a little more. Leger puts the Rebels out in front. And he lets them know.
I'm not sure what that celebration was, but I know this was an off-speed first pitch hunt from Leger. You saw that one up in the air. Great hitters know that when they see that spin up out of the hand, they just sit back and let it fly, and that's exactly what Leger did there. Was probably looking for that fastball, but saw that one spin out of his hand. He's able to capitalize on that hanging breaking ball, and all of a sudden, this Ole Miss offense puts up a 4 spot and still swinging.
After falling behind 2-0 too, back in the second inning. Campbell Smithwick takes the first pitch ball. 2 for 19 at the plate coming into this at bat. He struck out earlier back in the second inning. Man, this inning really got away from Missouri State, didn't it? Up 2-0, all of a sudden, a couple of free passes and Ole Miss capitalizes.
Anytime you walk the bases loaded without the other team having to do anything, it's generally never going to end well, but especially with an offense like Ole Miss has that's been swinging it so well.
Smithwick took a crack at it, 2-1. freshman at the plate, is Ole Miss's highest-rated recruit this year. One of a handful of MLB draft prospects coming into his freshman year. And he's ahead 3-1. And a couple booths over, too, Matt. I'm seeing some Oxford High School sweatshirts. So I think he's got some former teammates in the house today.
I'm sure he's got a few fans in the ballpark each night. He puts on the stripes here at Swayze.
Ball 4. And yes, he's 2 for 18 at the plate. But Smithwick has now walked 7 times this year. I mean, 7 walks compared to 2 hits. He just wants to get on base. He'll take it.
Anytime you can get on base for your team, that's what you want to do. And it doesn't really matter if you get a base hit or a walk. Although selfishly, all of us hitters want the hits, but that's what Smithwick's role is right now with this team. He needs to get on base and be a table setter and let these veteran guys take care of the rest as we see another mound visit. This will be the 9th hitter of the inning.
This is his first year back from a season-ending injury last season. It's his 3rd appearance out of the pen. And this is what everybody's dealing with today. Need a blanket out there.
I mean,
need layers.
A blanket in here. I mean, even we're inside, it's still chilly.
You can even see behind home plate that green blanket. Warm coats. Wear the hood over the hat. As Burford looks at strike 1. 0 for 1 today, Reagan Burford, one of Ole Miss's captains. Struck out his first time up. Steps up with 2 outs, runners on first and second base for Ole Miss, and a 4-2 advantage now for the Rebels. They were down 2-0 coming into this inning. Especially during the midweek, if you're Missouri State, you don't want to use 3 pitchers before the 4th inning. And Burford gets a piece of that.
But that's exactly what you want to do if you're Ole Miss, right? Getting that pen early. They did that last night. Able to do so again today.
Fly ball, shallow center field. And the second baseman, Rodriguez, calls everybody off. There's out number 3. Ole Miss puts up 4 runs, and they lead Missouri State by 2. Lead on Missouri State. What's this freshman? I use the word freshman loosely, Matt McLaughlin, because Simmons reclassified from the class of 2025 to come to Ole Miss this year to play football and baseball.
Yeah, there's no question. Just a really impressive young man. And, it's funny when you talk to the baseball staff before the season, they say, hey, this guy may go win a Heisman Trophy on the football team, but let's make no mistake, he's a dude on the mound. He comes in with really high ceiling on the mound, struck out 154 batters in 80 innings a year ago, and he just done a great job at making the transition from football to baseball, which you can see that fastball in the mid-90s at times, and it's going to sit in the low 90s pretty regularly. So it's exciting to see him develop as a pitcher, and, man, if you've seen him throw a football as well, kind of do it all.
And his dad was quoted in an ESPN article saying he's a lefty, he can throw it hard, and his dad really wasn't sure if he wanted his son to play football. But then he grew into his body, and he saw him move around on the football field, and he goes, okay, yeah, I think Austin can be a 2-way collegiate player at the Division I level.
Yeah, there was no question coming into this baseball season that they knew Simmons was going to play a role, at least out of the bullpen, to start the year, and he's looked really good so far.
He's facing Nick Rodriguez, 0 for 1 today. Still on his 7-game hit streak. Rodriguez had 69 hits last season, one of their best veteran bats returning this year. Catches the edge, strike 2.
You saw that, a couple of those big breakers, fastball on the outside at 92.
Simmons pitched in the blowout win last Sunday against High Point. Through an inning, did allow an earned run. He struck out one and allowed 2 hits and 16 pitches. Strike 3 call. Wow, locked him up.
Rodriguez didn't like it, but that one was ripped. 91 on the outside part of the plate. Freshman punches that ticket in the first batter he sees. See a little chatter, I guess we'll call it, from the Missouri State bench. Did not like that strikeout call. But we talked about that. That zone has elevated throughout the game.
Keith Gutton's been around 42 years. He knows what the strike zone looks like, and he didn't agree with that call.
Say he definitely knows what it looks like from the dugout. The umpire's going, I got the view behind the plate, though. So, regardless, like our coach used to tell us, doesn't really matter. Umpire disagreed with your assessment. I'll get back out there. So, see Simmons go back to work here, getting an 0-2 count early in SAB with Dylan Leach.
Hacks and misses, back-to-back Ks for Simmons.
Love to see the freshman climb the ladder with that elevated fastball. Try to slip that breaker in. Pitch prior and goes right back up. The second punch out of the inning.
Simmons has faced 10 batters now this season, and he struck out 5 of them. Cody Kelly walked and scored his last time up, and the infield plays him to the right side of the infield.
Saw Kelly squared a bunt because I'm as close to third base up here as anybody else is. There's nobody home over at third base right now. Everybody has shifted over to the right side of the infield.
Look at that.
And we're fortunate we get to watch Fisher do this, but he sprints. I mean, I'm dead serious. 40-yard sprint, like dead sprint over to his position at second base. It cracks me up every time. Guy is just a lightning bolt of energy out there.
After back-to-back strikeouts, Simmons throws 3 straight balls to Kelly. Now 3-1. Ball 4. And that's the first walk allowed by Austin Simmons in 3 appearances and 2 innings of work. Nine-spot hitter Tyler Epstein at the plate. RBI single back in the second inning. And he gets a hold of this down the left field line. This ball is fair and up against the wall. Cody Kelly hits third and puts on the brakes.
Yeah, this is fastball hunting right here. See this heater from Simmons just right down Main Street. Able to drive that one down the left field line. Almost got out of play. Big 2-out double. All of a sudden, Missouri State flips the script after 2 strikeouts. A couple guys on here and 2 outs.
And Ole Miss pulls their middle infield to the right side of the infield. Burford deep into right field. And the shortstop Randall playing right of the second base bag. Fisher, the third baseman, however, stays put. And a first pitch ball to Jake McCutcheon. 0 for 2 today with 2 groundouts. went around. 1-1. Coming off the 5 for 11 series at Southern Miss, including a clutch 2 RBI single in the series finale. And runners stay put. Smithwick eyed up the runners. 2-1 to the 360 hitter coming into today.
Good 2-1 challenging fastball there from Simmons.
And now Simmons is 1 strike away from getting out of this jam with 2 on second and third base. And McCutcheon stays alive.
Yeah, it's a great fight-off swing there from McCutcheon. That was a really good breaking ball from Simmons. Last time they had 2 strikes. Went upstairs with that fastball after the breaker. See if they do that or double up again with that big sweeping slider of his.
Simmons breezed through the first 2 batters. Strikeout looking and a strikeout swinging, then walked Cody Kelly. Gave up that double to Epstein. And McCutcheon putting on a fight as his 7th pitch of the at-bat is coming. Gets by Smithwick, and in comes Cody Kelly. 2nd run today scored for Missouri State via a wild pitch, to say the least, if you're Missouri State. But then Coach Gutton went on to compliment Southern Miss. He said, man, they have such a good team this year, and they really took it to us. And especially in Game 3 of that series, Missouri State took an early 2-0 lead thanks to 2 doubles, but Southern Miss battled back to win the game by a run, 5-4. And 2, Scott Berry, who just retired at Southern Miss, actually started his coaching career with Keith Gutton. And he said on Saturday they gave away Scott Berry bobbleheads. Trayson Hughes knocks this one into left center field, down for a base hit. It is 3rd of the season.
It's a really good job there from Hughes. Always call pitches like this like playing wiffle ball. Look how it's a 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball. You're just hanging in there waiting for that thing to get to you, and instead of pulling off of it and that right shoulder flying out, he just stays on it and slaps that one in the left field, and that's a good sign for Ole Miss, as Hughes is one of those high-impact transfers that they have really wanted to get going here offensively.
And the freshman Randall looks at strike 1. He walked and scored back in the 3rd inning. Got that rally going for Ole Miss, in which the Rebels scored 4 runs to take a 4-2 lead, but the Bears cut into that deficit last inning against Austin Simmons. Weak chopper right side, 2nd for 1, and no throw to first. So Hughes is retired. Randall is on first safely.
It's a really good play there from Kelly. You're holding the guy on, and you get a chopper hitting the inside part. It's a right-handed throw. You got to clear the lane for yourself and make a good throw to second base. That's well done to cut down the lead runner.
Tyler Charlton still on the mound for Missouri State. He actually started in that finale against ULM and struggled, but threw 2 innings at Southern Miss in the win, threw 29 pitches and struck out a batter. Faces the top of the order, and Ethan Groff. Pop out, hit by pitch, and score today. Snap throw to first, and Randall's back in time. You got to be paying attention at all times with the left-hander on the mound and you're at first base.
There's no question about it. Say with experience, but yeah, you just got to make sure that they are committed to going to home plate. It's always tough too because you want to get a good secondary lead. So you saw that breaking ball down in the dirt. You want to have a good opportunity to swipe second base on a dirt ball read, but you can't get too aggressive with that secondary. But I think you ask any base runner, all the lefties balk, you know.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
just no question about that.
Always. And Groff fights that off. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 and out number 2.
Just climbs the ladder there. Not a ton of velo, but gets it up enough to get over top of Groff. That upstairs fastball.
His 7th strikeout this season, Charlton. His first of the day. He was a highly touted prospect, too, in high school. As he faces Fisher, and first pitch strike. Charlton's senior year ERA was .65.
It's getting it done.
That is getting it done. And, of course, after that, he was named co-pitcher of the year. I want to know who the guy is that shared pitcher of the year with another guy whose ERA was .65.
Could have been .64.
Could have been.
Mean, you never know.
What did the other guy do? I'm so curious. I couldn't find the answer.
Pretty good year regardless, you could say.
Fisher stays alive.
I saw Randall taking off there. You got Fisher at the plate in an 0-2 count. You can be as aggressive as you want. If Randall gets thrown out trying to steal second base, you turn around, you let Fisher lead off the next inning. It's kind of a win-win offensively for Ole Miss, so wouldn't be surprised to see Randall again on the move.
In the air, left center field. McCutcheon ranges over and drops the ball. Randall around third, hustling home. No way.
I mean, I'm not sure what happened there. McCutcheon was kind of coasting. You see him trying to track. You see a kind of sporadic movement and just took his eye off it for just a second. A tough mistake for Missouri State here, who was looking to get out of that inning with no damage. Now got to face Jackson Ross with a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. But Randall, off on that pitch, was able to turn that into a run.
Jackson Ross had the 2 RBI double back in the third that tied the game. And of course, these numbers, we've been talking about them all day. Chops this left side, scooped by Epstein, and out number 3. But Ole Miss adds to their lead on an error by Missouri State. But obviously in the midweek, we'll not see Thompson. As Austin Simmons back out on the mound for Ole Miss. Faces fellow freshman Bogenpole, who's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a strikeout. And it's 1-1.
Again, if you're Ole Miss, you would love to see Simmons be able to work effectively through the 5th and 6th frame so you can really start to set things up for a pretty big matchup with Iowa this coming weekend.
Blew that by him at 92. He reclassified from the class of 2025 to 2022. It's his first year in Oxford. And yes, you may be at home thinking, really? 2 whole grades? He reclassified? Yes.
Might have doubled up my GPA as well in the process.
Yeah. He was homeschooled, went to class 7 days a week, prepped for his SATs. Edge the corner, strike 3.
Go add paint to that resume as well, because this is fastball paint on the outside part of the plate from the freshman. Tremendous pitch there. The leadoff strikeout here in the top of the 5th. That's his 3rd of the day.
He struck out the first 2 batters back in the 4th, got in a little bit of trouble, allowed a run last inning. But also coming into this season, Mike Bianco and the coaching staff, they weren't sure what they had in Simmons because he was absent for fall ball, being a quarterback for the football team.
Yeah, again, the talent was there, but you don't have heads up.
Ooh.
Man, that ball was ripped. We're all good over there. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we had to pause there just to check.
I think that made contact too, but I think we're good down the third baseline.
All those extra layers he wore today came in handy.
Luckily, there's smiles there because that ball was smoked down the third baseline. Yeah, and it's always difficult when you have 2 sport athletes like that because, again, they miss, like you said, they miss in several months of that, and then they got to come in and try to play catch up.
Chop to third. Easy for Fisher. 2 up, 2 down for Simmons here in the 5th. And not to mention, it's spring, so he's also missing all those spring workouts for football.
Well, that's why they say, you know, we're not created equally athletically, so these guys are just different animals. I mean, I couldn't imagine going several months and trying to come back and figure out how to hit a baseball again, let alone get guys out. Then again, go play SEC football right after that. I mean, some of these guys are just incredibly athletic, incredibly talented.
And Stewart bounces this left side. Tough play for Randall. Throws across his body. Wow! He's just a freshman.
Again, we'll look forward to seeing what those additions look like, and we'll look forward to seeing what Reed Metz has to offer.
Reed Metz, junior from Springfield, Missouri. Redshirt junior. It's his first year with Missouri. Last year was his first year with Missouri State. He began his career actually at Tennessee. And he faces Will Furness. First pitch strike.
Got 4 pitches, including a cutter. See that off speed to start power hitting Furness.
On the ground right side, and Rodriguez comes in to throw out Furness. And Furness falls to 0-3 today. And that brings up Ethan Leger. (5-3) Ole Miss on top of Missouri State here in the 5th inning. As Leger's ahead in the count, 2-0. Leger's hitting at least coming into today, was hitting .435 through his first 9 games this season. And last year in the first 9 games, in his first season as a Rebel, he was hitting just .250. Maybe you can sense that comfortability in year 2 for him through the first 9 games.
Oh, there's no question about that. 3-0 delivery there. Strike 1, but yeah, you can see the confidence. You see the presence he has in the box. I mean, he's up there looking to do damage every time he's at the plate.
Works the walk. And Metz After getting Furness to ground out, he walks Leger, and now we'll see Campbell Smithwick. This was just shared with us by the booth next door of Missouri State. 22 of the 40 runs allowed this year by Missouri State have been allowed in the third and fourth innings. What does that tell you? Bullpen trouble? I mean, not so much.
Statistical anomaly.
Yeah, another thing too.
Well, it's one of those things.
I was trying to think myself, and maybe I'm just trying to pick your brain.
Well, it's the second time you usually see the starting pitcher as well. You see a stolen base there from Leger, a slide. Yeah, usually you get in that third, fourth frame, you've usually seen the starter a second time. So that would be the one thought, I suppose, or you get into the early bullpen trouble. And but yeah, it's just always funny. Some of these teams, they're like, oh, they're incredible in the eighth inning. Well, why is that? I don't know. It's just one of those things.
It's called a coincidence.
Yeah, that's right.
Smithwick lets it be, and yeah, all of Ole Miss's runs in this game, third and fourth inning.
Well, the trend continuing. That's exactly what we saw out of Day. I mean, he carved up Ole Miss really the first time through the order, and then all of a sudden, Randall flips the lineup over, and just all of a sudden it kind of broke away from him.
Smithwick chases the 3-1, and the count's full. Smithwick's batting average is 111, but his on-base percentage is 370. He's walked 7 times this year, compared to his 2 hits to begin his college career. On the ground to first. Bobbled by Kelly, but he takes care of it, and Leger moves to third. And that brings up Reagan Burford. Coming off back-to-back games with a home run. He's had 5 RBIs in his last 2 games. His batting average is 222, and Burford's slugging 611.
That's what happens when you knock it over the wall a couple times in a row.
I mean, that's just what Ole Miss's offense has done these last 3 games. 13 homers. They've scored, 47 runs?
A couple doubles today as well.
It's in their first strike. But Burford 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a pop-out. And Leger standing on third base for some insurance. Metz is ready.
It's that cutter right there. So Burford take a good cut at it, just enough movement.
Cut on and missed. And Metz strands one on third base. He throws some heat.
He does. You had a chilly day out here, you bring a flamethrower in. It's a guy who can hit the upper 90s consistently and even get into triple digits. So these young, really powerful arms Ole Miss is looking to continue to develop.
A lot of Mississippians on this Ole Miss team. He's one of 17 players from this state that are on Ole Miss's roster. I mean, this is a hotbed of baseball players, this state. As first pitch, oof.
Well, when you're gearing up for 100 and you get the 90-mile-an-hour slider, it's pretty tough.
Logan Chambers at the plate.
Come back to 98 on that fastball.
No one is more excited to see Galley out on the mound than Ole Miss's dugout. I mean, you can hear how hyped up they are. 1-2. Chambers doubled back in the singled and advanced to second base on an error on Trayson Hughes out in right field his first time up. Did he go around? He did not.
I mean, that thing is just nasty. He's hitting almost 100 with the heater, and then he's ripping off that slider down and in.
Galley's last appearance was Game 4 at Hawaii. He threw a third of an inning. And that was when the game was 13-4, way out of reach, but still threw a third of an inning. He got the third out in the 8th. Did what he needed to do. But this is the first time that we're really seeing Galley out on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a guy didn't throw at all last year for Ole Miss, and we kept hearing a lot of chatter about him in coming to the offseason, coming back throwing as hard as he has. 98, 97 in this first at bat, but a full count for Chambers.
Fouled off, and Chambers stays alive. Ball 4.
That's a really good at bat from Chambers. Saw some really nasty stuff there, and 98, 97 on the fastball. Was able to waste the 2-strike fastball. A big walk there to lead off top of the 6th.
That brings up Nick Rodriguez, former high school teammate of Ole Miss pitcher Josh Mallitz. Both Rodriguez and Mallitz helped their high school to a state title their sophomore year. Mallitz said they keep in touch from time to time. They got a group chat. I mean, their sophomore year of high school was so long ago, sometimes you just lose touch over the years, especially since Rodriguez began his career at Charleston Southern, then moved to Missouri State. Josh Mallitz has been doing his thing here at Ole Miss.
It's a high school program with a lot of talent. There's no question about that.
Including Ole Miss pitcher who started yesterday, Wes Mendez. Popped him up left side. Fisher near the wall. Does he have enough? He does. Makes the catch.
That's a tough play. Again, windy, tough sky right now. You see him look for the wall, overruns it a little bit, but makes a really athletic recovery. A big pop-up out there to get out one here in the 6th. Probably not his most graceful, defensive play, but really athletic to recover. We went from a gray to kind of a dark sky as well, so not always easy to pick that up.
2 strikeouts today for Dylan Leach. Began his career at Arkansas. And he went around. Leach was on that Arkansas team that lost to Ole Miss in the national championship a couple of years ago. He did not play against Ole Miss. Punches this through, back up the middle. And Chambers takes the turn at second base, but stays. 2 on, 1 out here for Missouri State in the 6th.
Yeah, this one, the shift giveth, the shift taketh away, and that one might have been a double play at normal depth, but you play the percentages. Nice job there by Leach, punching that one back up the middle. Now Missouri State has quickly turned this thing around in a 2-run ball game. Getting Kelly up at the plate with 2 on. 1 out.
Dylan Leach's second hit in his career against Ole Miss. And Kelly takes low, ball 1. Without an official at bat today, Cody Kelly. He's walked twice, has scored twice. Maybe he's the good juju that Missouri State needs here in the 6th. He doesn't have a hit this year. He's 0 for 4 at the plate. Good block by Smithwick. In fact, the staff considered batting Kelly leadoff, like how the Phillies use Kyle Schwarber, just because of his frame and the way he hasn't hit the ball hard yet this year, but he can. They've seen it.
Sometimes you just got to give a guy a new look, too. If you're Galley, you want to try to go right after him. You're with that big fastball.
Pops him up a mile high in the air. And Groff comes in, takes care of it.
Yeah, I could not have told you where that ball ended up. I mean, that's how tough that sky is right now. Groff had a beat on it the whole time, though, and a big pop-up out there for Galley trying to work his way through this inning.
Tyler Epstein steps up. He's had a great day. 2 for 2 with an RBI single back in the 2nd inning. He doubled his last time up in the 4th. And the graduate student takes ball 1. Smithwick can't find it. It's at his feet. Nobody moves.
Rebel bench, quick to point it out for him, but good block up there from the freshman. Keep those runners from getting in both into scoring position.
Epstein spent the last 4 years at a Division II school, Nova Southeastern in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Recorded 119 hits in 4 years. And today he's 2 for 2, 8 hits so far this year, 3 RBIs. And in the big spot here for Missouri State in the 6th, up in the count 3-0 with runners on first and second base. Ball 4. And he flips the lineup. Jake McCutcheon comes up with bases loaded.
Yeah, I thought Coach Bianco might be coming out to have a chat or make a change, and it looks like we're going to get a change here in the 6th.
And Patrick Galley began this 6th inning walk.
But a 2 outs and a 2-run ball game, you need somebody to come in with some experience, and Tolbert provides that. Not going to have any time to mess around with McCutcheon, though.
And McCutcheon coming into today, 360 hitter. He had 9 hits, but he's 0 for 3 today with 3 groundouts. If you're Missouri State, you're thinking McCutcheon's due being 0 for 3 coming into this at bat.
You're looking for any type of way. Walk, hit by pitch, homer, grand slam, anything. Just keep tacking away. Try to get closer to taking that lead.
Fouls off the first pitch. 2-run ball game. Ole Miss on top 5-3.
Pretty powerful mustache Tolbert has, too. We didn't really get to talk about it there in the breakdown, so I apologize for that. But kudos to him. That thing is strong.
Not many people can rock that.
We're going like Yellowstone style right there.
Nothing in 2 the count. And McCutcheon finally steps back in.
Yeah, he took a pretty vicious foul ball off the foot there.
Check swing, did he go? He did! All Tolbert needed was 3 pitches.
Harnessing the power of the staff. Personally, if you're Ole Miss, now's the time to really go get it. You can start to run away with this one in the later frames. It's been a good ball game here today. I mean, 5-3, 9 hits. Between the two teams, 5 and 4. Pretty clean game outside of couple miscues in the outfield, but it's been a really competitive ball game so far here tonight at Swayze.
Inside to Trayson Hughes. 8-9-1 batters due up this inning for Ole Miss. And Hughes, the transfer from Mercer, named preseason 3rd-team All-American, NCBWA. Gave him that accolade to begin the season, and he would say it's been a struggle for him to begin this season too. 3 hits. In fact, he picked up his 3rd hit this game back in the 4th inning. A lot of the new Ole Miss bats have started to come around except Hughes. But his pedigree says he's a very good hitter. I mean, it is going to come.
This pitch there from Charter. Yet again, one of those high-impact transfers that everybody wanted. Just has not been able to get it going, but just takes a couple ABs to string together, just like that. 2 for his last 2.
Leadoff single, big turn at first and retreats. Leadoff single for Trayson Hughes.
You take those stats, throw them out the book when you're 2 for your last 2, right? Nice job again, just hanging in there on that breaking ball. Did the same thing going the other way in his last AB. Starting to see number 1 in the pinstripes, maybe heating up a little bit.
His first multi-hit game this year. Again, he hit 387 at Mercer, slugged 11 homers. He was 1st-team All-SoCon. And that brings up Braden Randall. Reached on the fielder's choice. He scored 2 runs and walked. Quite a busy day for him. A laser into right, base hit. And Hughes stops at second base. Back-to-back singles for Ole Miss to start the 6th inning.
Nice piece of hitting there from the young freshman shortstop. Having himself a nice day.
Jason Schaaf getting loose, the sophomore, who hasn't been seen for Missouri State since the opening weekend series against ULM. Groff squares the bunt, and Charter off the mound bobbles the baseball.
Yeah, just perfectly placed bunt there from Groff. Kind of a wet grass. You see him try to make a turn really unnecessarily. Unless if that ball is bunted really hard back to you, there's no play at third base ever. You pick that one up, you throw it over to first base, and you move on with your inning. There's no reason to try to force that in, and that's just a mistake on the mound there from Charter. But a big break for Ole Miss, who now, again, what we just talked about at the opening frame, Ole Miss got a chance to really seize momentum in this one.
Right back to him, but a tailor-made double play maybe. Step on second base and turned by Missouri State. Run comes in, Hughes scores. That was just right place, right time.
Yeah, this is just a really good play here. Up the middle and get bases loaded, nobody out. You will let that run go across for 2 outs all day, every day, especially with Ross coming to the plate. Nice play there from Epstein. Flip that burger over for 2 outs.
6-3 advantage now for Ole Miss on Missouri State here in the 6th. And Jackson Ross watches the first pitch go by. Braden Randall is on third. And all these D1 impact transfers coming to Ole Miss this season, Ross being one of them. Took time for their bats to finally start to finally heat up, including Ross.
Actually credited Groff with a single on that bunt. Take that all day if you're Groff out of the sack.
And a chopper to short. Epstein gloves, and there's out number 3. Ole Miss does add 1, and they lead Missouri State by 3. There's 2 in that game. Got out of that inning pretty easily, and then shut them down following. But 3 of his 4 strikeouts were looking.
And I think you're going to see Mallett's really not in that true closer's role. I mean, he's going to come in every high leverage situation, no matter what, in these ball games, and probably needed to get some work in tonight as well. But again, 3-run game in the 7th. If he can go ahead and bridge the gap, let your offense tack another couple on. Last thing you want to do is give Missouri State some momentum here in the 7th.
Caden Bogenpole takes strike 1. Leading off for Missouri State here in the 7th inning. 2, 3, 4 due up this inning in their lineup. And there's that breaking ball you're talking about, Matt. So lethal.
He can throw it in any count at any time. In the zone, out of the zone. Just really vicious.
Strike 3. 1 up, 1 down for Mallets here in the 7th.
Just hit him with that breaker 3 times in a row. Made 3 tremendous pitches there to Bogenpole, and it's a quick strikeout. You see that one? Had some late life down and away. Just really, really nasty stuff there for Mallets.
6 strikeouts today for Ole Miss's pitching staff, and 8 total on the season now for Mallets. Gallert back at the plate. He's singled once today. Average at .219 now coming into this at bat. Mallets misses 93-mile-an-hour heater. And missed that time. And Gallert, that single back in the 3rd inning ended in 0 for 14 drought for him at the plate. He had it rough last weekend against Southern Miss. He went 0 for 13 in the series and struck out 5 times. And gets a walk here.
Yeah, after quick work there in that first AB, Mallets struggling to find a command there. We're going to have a technical difficulty timeout here. See that pitch relay system there. Gone are the days of the double indicators and
hand signals.
hand signals. Yeah, these infielders got it easy these days, man. They got those bracelets on. They know exactly what's coming. You know, some of us had to stare in, try to pick up the signs of our own pitchers.
Meanwhile, you and I are squinting, trying to see what's going on.
Yeah, but now we hit the age where we're squinting at a screen to see what's going on. So, but Mallets bounces right back there with that nasty breaking ball again to get strike 1 on Stewart.
0 for 3 today. Preseason All MVC before the season and D1 Baseball's MVC Preseason Player of the Year. Coaching staff calls him a really special player. And he's behind the count 1-2. He was a freshman All-American too last year. And I think David Bailey, the home plate umpire, just threw out somebody in Missouri State's dugout.
I think the gentleman he threw out decided to come out there and have a few words on his way to the showers.
Keith Gutton, his day is done.
Yeah, this wasn't just out of nowhere. This has been building for a few innings. I mean, we've seen a couple warnings from our home plate umpire into the Missouri State bench, and it's been kind of building over the last few innings, and it's going to be an early night for the Missouri State skipper.
And now our crew gets together. Wow.
Yeah, that was a quick ejection, too. Not a lot of not a lot of antics or anything. Just, hey, you're out of here. I'm not having a conversation about it. You're gone. Let's move on.
One-two pitch is lofted left side and hooks out of play. But you're right. It's been building all day. Keith Gutton has been chirping about David Bailey's strike zone today. And finally, our home plate umpire had enough. Downstairs, checked, and he did not go around. So Joey Hawkins is the acting head coach right now, with Gutton thrown out of this game. Runner on first, one down. Missouri State's down 3 to Ole Miss. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, but it slips through the legs of Smithwick. He can't find it.
There's nobody
hustling to third is Gollert.
I say there's nobody at third base, but not sure what we.
Oh, now David Bailey is telling Gollert to go back. What's the call here? And instead, Stewart's going back to the dugout.
Well, Stewart's out no matter what. I'm confused as to what the call was, though, because Stewart's out. The base was occupied, but it was a wild pitch. So unless if he called interference on Stewart, somehow.
And now David Bailey calls together the umpiring crew.
Eventful inning here in the 7th.
And this is when I wish our umpires would communicate up here with us about what's going on.
Again, I'm just as puzzled. I think they're going to call interference on Stewart. I think you got it on the back swing. Watch his bat. You see it connect with the catcher. But again, I'm not sure why it gets sent all the way back other than the interference call right away. That's the best I got, folks.
It's very confusing all around. But either way, Zach Stewart, that's a huge second out with the runner on base. Logan Chambers is at the plate now. 1 for 2 today with a single and a run scored. Big cut there. 1-1. Chambers began his career at Crowder College. He was an All-American there and is Region's Player of the Year. Yanks that foul.
So just to recap, we had a timeout due to technology failure in Malice's hat. Then we had an ejection. Then we had a drop third strike interference call, which sent the runner who was clearly made to third easily back to first. And then all the while, now 2 down and 1 on at first base.
A high fly ball lifted left center field. Groff races for it, and oh! He hangs on, him and Leger. Man.
You could see it coming. Both Rebs are on a dead sprint to that ball in the gap. You can see them both taking a run at it. Groff somehow hangs on to it. That is a big collision, but a right-hander and fastball. Not a ton of info, but one thing is abundantly clear. He's got some velo on that fastball. Out of him about 93 to 95 on the gun. The breaking ball to go with it.
It's his second outing this season. His only outing this year was against Oral Roberts in that 10-9 midweek win last week. He threw an inning in that game in 19 pitches, struck out, and walked one batter. And even though his bio says that he's from Rogersville, Missouri, he was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. Will Furness, the first to see Sutherland today. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Rough start to the night for Will Furness. Then again, if you're Furness, he's homered in 3 straight games. It's hard enough to hit a home run in this game.
Yeah, Furness is, again, he's just one of those guys that can really just have a huge impact in the game in any AB.
And he didn't have the fall or the spring leading up to game 1 that he wanted. In fact, he'd been working a lot with Coach Clem and also his dad, who was one of the greatest hitters in SEC history.
I think he knows a thing or two about hitting.
Yeah. But he's also been getting help, too, from Driveline Baseball, a company in Arizona, and a coach by the name of Connor Watson. He mentioned Watson in his post-game interview yesterday. As Furness skies this one left side. Chambers on the run and overran it.
You could see that one coming. He was on a dead sprint, and then that one was peeling back towards the foul line, and he looked in, you see, peeked down to make sure he got a guy on the wall and knew it immediately. It's just been a tough night. Any ball that's been hit up in the air like that. The infield play has been tremendous today. Outfield play, seen a couple issues for both clubs.
And ball 4. And Sutherland walks Furness. Now he'll face Ethan Leger. 2 RBI double back in the 3rd that gave Ole Miss the lead. And also he walked back in the 5th inning.
That's Drew Markle. Sorry, we were both trying to figure it out at the same time. The pitcher runner was.
Drew Markle, the freshman. And Leger poses on the check swing. He did not go around. There's the freshman. And a run for Will Furness. And he breaks for second base. Throw down. In there. Got him. And David Bailey from behind home plate comes out to chat with the crew.
Looked like he got that right arm in there, but saw the oven mitt in there.
And
we're going to have a review.
Yeah, I think looking at that replay, My first thought is I think this gets overturned.
Well, I'm not sure if that was Rodriguez or Epstein on the pick, but that was a really nice pick out from the catcher, but he gets that left arm in there.
Fans just saw it for the first time, and they all say safe.
I got him as safe, but they don't pay me the umpire.
No.
So
Neither of us.
see that pick. Bringing the glove up. He's got to get that back down as quickly as he can, and that oven mitt gets in there just in time for the tags applied to that left shoulder.
That's Rodriguez, number 3 for Missouri State. Another angle.
Yeah, you see, he gets that back shoulder too. Great shot from our camera crew. Best in the business.
Especially on a cold night like this. They're all out there freezing while you and I are cozy in our booth.
I don't know if I go cozy.
You don't think?
Definitely not freezing though.
Yeah, they are freezing. Shane Sanford directing tonight. Jim Holder producing. And the rest of our fantastic crew on hand. Matt McLaughlin, Jake Ramada with you. And here comes our call.
Couldn't hear what he said, but those hand signals don't lie. So credit Markle with the swipe at second base. Man, how impressive has Ole Miss been on the base paths the last couple of nights? I mean, they've been super aggressive.
Markle's first stolen base of his career.
Yeah, steals, hit and run. I mean, they've been kind of doing it all. Dirt ball reads. Congrats to the young Rebel for his first steal.
Strike one to Leger. And Markle also got his first hit against Hawaii in Game 3 of the series on the islands. And Leger fouls that off, 3-2. Leger's been the toughest Rebel to strike out. He only had 16 strikeouts last year. 1 this year. Fists this in the air and caught by the shortstop Epstein. Markle's back to second.
Nice little snag there. Able to get in the hands of Leger, just not able to get that barrel to it.
And that brings up the freshman catcher, Campbell Smithwick. And that gets by the catcher Leach, and up to third is Markle.
I think we'll see Missouri State bring the infield in now. Try to keep this a 3-run game.
It's already 6-3 Ole Miss here in the 7th inning. Missouri State struck first in the 2nd inning. They put 2 across. And then Ole Miss, with a couple of free passes, got 2 doubles in the bottom half of the 3rd to go up 4-2. Leach keeps that in front of him. Since going up 4-2, Ole Miss has had the lead on the Bears. And Sutherland gets a visit from Leach and the rest of his infield.
That's a convention they got going on there. And if you're Smithwick here, you just want to try to get something straight, a little bit up in the zone so you can just pop one into the outfield. I mean, that's job number one. You get a 3-run game, 1 out with a runner on third base. Try to get you something you can drive to the outfield.
This is freshman versus freshman. Smithwick was Mr. Baseball in the state of Mississippi last year. And he records another walk, his second today. Second this inning for Sutherland. Runners on the corners now for Ole Miss. And Reagan Burford steps up. And Coach Petrie out of the third base dugout for Missouri State. There is action going on in their bullpen out in left field. You got to keep the blood going, you know.
Yeah.
It's cold out there.
Big AB right here for the Ole Miss captain.
First pitch in there for a strike. Matt, you mentioned Schaff, a JUCO transfer from Indian Hills Community College. Schaff was 4-1 in 11 outings for the Warriors. Off the end of the bat, and Schaff off the mound. Markle comes home, he touches home plate. Scores for Ole Miss, 7-3 ball game.
Yeah, that was a Q shot corner pocket for that RBI. Goes down as a screamer back at the pitcher for an RBI in the scorebook. But for Burford, job done no matter how it happens. You needed to get that run in, give you a 4-run lead. And now all of a sudden, Trayson Hughes, 2 for his last 2 now at the plate.
He's been huge.
Those numbers coming into this year have been for sure.
He said his transition to Oxford's been amazing. He does have one complaint, though, about Oxford, and it's a common complaint. The parking.
Can't have it all,
Mm-mm.
you know?
Mm-mm.
Just no place has it all.
Campus parking. But that's a common theme around the country.
I was going to say, I'm not sure I know many college campuses that have great parking situations. I tell you what, if you got a great parking setup, enrollment's probably not doing too well. And I do know this. Enrollment at Ole Miss is through the roof. Inside pick move there, almost got him.
Ooh, that was close. Smithwick back in time. We've seen some close pickoff attempts today. I'm shocked no one's been called out yet.
Yeah, that tag was a little up, but nice job there trying to sneak in. See Smithwick trying to get a jump on anything hit. He's off and running.
Fouled off. 2-2.
Ooh,
That
no.
hits him.
They might call. They're gonna think they're gonna call a foul ball here, but I think they're gonna get Hughes on the swing. That is not gonna feel good on any day, let alone a day like this.
Right off the hand.
Yep, they're gonna get him on a full swing there. Why that is a strike.
Runner on second base for Ole Miss. Bottom half of the 7th and a 4-run lead on Missouri State. Full count now to Hughes. Payoff pitch. Strike 3 call, and Schaff leaves him stranded on second base. His last outing was against Arkansas State last week. He only threw an inning in 25 pitches, but he did not pitch at all last weekend in the High Point series. And in the closer role, he really wasn't needed, Matt. I mean, all those games were pretty much lopsided. None of them were close, especially the last 2 that Ole Miss won.
Yeah, you just want to make sure your horses out of the pen are as fresh as they can be and have some work. You don't want to go full week plus without seeing any game time innings.
And Rodriguez bloops this to center field, and Groff can't get there. So leadoff single to begin the 8th inning. And in fact, Josh Mallett's missed Nick Rodriguez. They both won a state championship together back in high school. Mallett's missed him by mid-inning. That would have been fun. 2 former high school teammates going at it. But that brings up Dylan Leach. Single back in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3 today.
Yeah, and like Mallett's, you'll see Mason Nichols go to that breaking ball a lot. That fastball sits around the low 90s. Just goes to that breaking ball quite a bit, especially when he needs a punch out.
And Nichols is ahead 0-2. He went around. Strike 3. Mason Nichols is first tonight.
That's slicing and dicing right there. Breaking ball, get 0-2, and right upstairs for that strikeout. Absolute bloop single. Nice bounce back there from Mason Nichols, and you see 8 strikeouts for the Rebel pitching staff today.
And Leach has gone down 3 times, striking out. And Cody Kelly looks at the first one. 0-1. See it, 2 walks today, 2 runs. Back in the 2nd and 4th innings. That just misses at 91. Nichols this last summer pitched in 8 games in the Cape Cod League. Got some experience in the best summer collegiate league in the country. Puts that in there for strike 1 and 2.
He was a huge part of the national championship run that Ole Miss had a couple years ago, and then just had a tough sophomore campaign. But the talent is there, and he's going to have to be a huge part of that bullpen.
And he has some help this year, right? With Mallett's back to help set him up.
Yeah, and again, we'll obviously see how it goes the rest of the year. But I see Mallett's coming in these spots where you've got to have lockdown innings instead of him just sitting into the 9th inning and you may or may not use him. That's just where baseball has gone with these high leverage closer types. And you got somebody like 45 in the pinstripes that could come in and really shut it down for the rest of the way if you need them.
And a new addition, too, for Ole Miss is Connor Spencer. He, too, a transfer from southeastern Louisiana. He had 3 saves last year, already has 1 save this year. Hack and miss. Strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts for Nichols.
You see him go again, elevated fastball for strikeout number 2 of the day.
Tyler Epstein comes up with a multi-hit day today. Single and double, also with an RBI. airs out airs it out to the right side and out of play. In his first year at Missouri State, spent the last 4 years at Nova Southeastern in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But last year, he only played in 7 games. He missed the rest of the season due to an injury. Takes high and tight for strike 2. Also earlier this game, Keith Gutton, the 42nd year head coach at Missouri State in his final year of coaching, was tossed for arguing balls and strikes. Kicks away from Smithwick and up to second base is Nick Rodriguez.
Wonder how many he's had. 42 years?
42 years.
Definitely not the first one.
No.
So, should be a stat. You know that we get in the pregame stats?
In our
ejections.
Stat pack? They've got to have it somewhere.
Right. Oh, number 9 of the career. Second of the season.
Well, don't you, if you're ejected, don't you miss the next game?
I think for players.
Okay.
Yeah, I think coaches are different.
They get a mulligan, I think.
Get a mulligan.
Yeah. Strike 3 call. 3 in a row for Nichols here in the 8th.
Typical Johnny Holstaff type of midweek game here we have at Swayze. But Syverson comes in 86-89 on that fastball, slider, changeup, and both of these ball clubs are really just trying to get ready for the weekend. And for Ole Miss, again, just a reminder, game 2 of 5 on the week. So they have managed their bullpen extremely well, though, over the last 2 nights. I mean, nobody has been overtaxed. They'll have a fresh pen ready for the Iowa Hawkeyes when they roll in this weekend.
Braden Randall singled back in the 6th inning. 1 for 2 today. Also 2 runs scored and a walk. Freshman versus freshman. Syverson's 2nd outing this season. He's only thrown 2 innings of work. He's allowed 2 walks as well. Only faced 8 batters in his first outing against ULM in the series finale. Misses outside. 1-1. Syverson, though, highly touted recruit out of Colorado. Ranked the 4th best right-handed pitcher in the state and number 11 overall prospect. First team All-State his senior season. Went 10-1, struck out 125 batters. And yes, that's in 1 season.
It's a lot of tickets punched there.
That is. This Missouri State program, they get solid recruits. Randall skies this out to left center field. Diving for it. Chambers, he comes up empty. Randall steers towards third base. The throw, he's safe. His first career triple.
Have a day, freshman. Takes that fastball the other way for a nice, cool triple. It's a great effort out there. Chambers in left field, and Randall was hustling out of the box there for that triple. He knew he had a shot at it, and great way to start this 8th inning if you're Ole Miss. Trying to continue to extend that lead. Missouri State will bring the infield in.
Against Ethan Groff. First pitch strike. Hit by pitch, run scored. Also a single in the 6th. Ole Miss in the driver's seat for their 4th win in a row. And Groff knocks this to center. In comes Randall, and it's an 8-3 ball game. Multi-hit day for Ethan Groff, and he's picked up his 6th RBI of the season.
Yeah, just gets that breaking ball out over the plate. Infield in. All you got to do is get some barrel on it. This will turn out well, and exactly what you want if you're Ole Miss. Leadoff triple, base hit. Extend that lead out past 4.
And Andrew Fisher steps in, runner on first base, nobody out. Ole Miss's lead extended to 5 now as Groff breaks for second. And he's in there for his 3rd stolen base in the last 2 games.
They continue to tear up the base pass. I mean, my goodness, the last couple nights. And tough work on catchers here at Swayze Field with this Rebel offense.
And Groff had a season high, or career high 16 stolen bases last year. Inside jam job, lifted left side. The third baseman, Gollert, makes the catch over the shoulder. Tough play for him. And Groff still at second base as Jackson Ross comes up. 2 ground outs today, a fly out. But his day's been highlighted by that 2 RBI double that he had back in the 3rd inning. I love what Will Furness said about Jackson Ross last night after beating Little Rock. Furness said there are vocal leaders and leaders that lead by example. And Jackson Ross certainly one to lead by example, right? Coming into today, 11 for 15 at the plate in his last 5 games and belting 5 home runs. I'd say that's an example.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take half those numbers. Feel pretty good about it. See Groff that was halfway to third base there.
I mean, as a pitcher, you just ignore him. You let him do that on you.
Well, unless your infielder calls a pick play, all you can do is hold. But I think Groff was noticing that he wasn't getting paid attention to. Was trying to time out a swipe at third base. And you can kind of feel this identity forming for this Rebel lineup. You got power and speed on the base pass. Just chaos, right? There goes Groff.
There goes Groff. And he swipes third. Running all over the place, Ethan Groff. 2 stolen bases in the last 2 games now. He has 4 on the year.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it there. He was a third, almost halfway to third base before he really took off. That's just timing up the pitcher, and now Surstado will again bring in the infield in, which is never fun when you got a guy who can hit the ball as far as this guy can.
And as hard as he can.
Say, if you're at third base, you're like, man, much rather play this guy on the other grass. But
all 3 of Ross's hits last night were 105 off the bat. And he takes the walk. And that brings up Drew Markle, the freshman, who came in to pinch run for Will Furness after Furness walked to lead off the 7th. And Markle came around to score on Reagan Burford's ground out back to the pitcher. He does have a hit this season in Game 3 against Hawaii. Pinched hit in the 7th inning of Game 3 and singled up the middle as Ross is back safely. He's loved Ole Miss since he was a kid, and a lot of these recruits have. Everybody hears about Ole Miss growing up, especially if you play baseball. No appeal. 1-0.
Rebs have 3 extra base hits today, 7 walks, and 4 stolen bases. And they've just been all over the base pass. with those numbers, the fact that it's still only a 5-run game, it speaks volumes to Missouri State working out of jams throughout the course of this game.
They've done a good job slowing the bleeding. I mean, still allowing runs. They're still down 5, but they've done their best to not let this get out of hand.
Well, yeah, a base-loaded no-out situation, get a double play, and then get out of the inning with just one.
The freshman Drew Markle at the plate. 2-1. Markle had a great fall, too. He hit 341, 15 for 44 at the plate. 8 RBIs. He also stole 9 bases. I'd take it. Fouls this one off. Tompkins High School graduate, native of Katy, Texas. Named All-District in his time there. And who doesn't play football when you go to high school in Texas?
A lot of athletes all over the place in that part of the world.
A lot of energy coming out of that first base dugout for Ole Miss. You can tell they're happy with a 5-run lead right now, but hey, they're threatening for more. Ross breaks for second base. Doesn't matter. Ball 4. Bases are loaded here in the 8th.
Yeah, it's funny. We go way back in this game. We went to the graphic of Mike Bianco. We were kind of joking because he was sitting there hiding behind it. All of a sudden he pops up off the bench like, let's go. Starts, clapping his hands, trying to get his offense going. From that moment, that dugout has been up, vocal, and in it. So it was just pretty funny to see that him pop, just be able to catch him popping off the dugout, trying to get his guys going, and they've responded extremely well.
That gets away from Leach, and into scores Groff. 9-3 game. All Ole Miss tonight.
Yeah, this one just got behind Leger. I'm not even sure how that didn't hit him.
So I hesitated for a bit. I wasn't sure if that hit him. Now runners on second and third. One down.
Oh.
And that definitely hit him.
No doubt about that one.
Bases are reloaded.
I was going to say, we're getting close to that 10-run rule territory all of a sudden, which was a tight ball game with one swing of the bat from the freshman. Could send everybody home.
Smithwick has worked 2 walks today. And Syverson struggling. Allowed the leadoff triple this inning to Braden Randall. Single by Groff. And walk, hit by pitch. Lone out this inning was Andrew Fisher's pop out and foul grounds down the third base line. Smithwick, for a freshman, he's got a good feel for the zone. 6 walks coming into today. Add 2 more tonight. I mean, maybe if you're a freshman, you just want to go up there and hit the ball and show the fans what you can do. But he's been very patient.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going up there trying to send everyone home. I'm not going to lie to you. freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I mean, I'm going up there trying to get one out of there.
Strike 3 call. Out number 2. And first strikeout of the night for Syverson, the freshman. And he just needs one more out to get out of this.
We're going to have a pinch hitter here.
Trenton Lyons, number 24, in to pinch hit for Reagan Burford. So Burford's day is done. Lyons with 2 hits so far in his young career. Freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. On the ground to first. Tricky hop for Kelly. Flips to first. Not in time. Ross scores 10-3 Ole Miss.
This is exactly why you want to get a short hop. Watch how this ball gets caught in the middle, and it never ends up well when you get caught in the middle like that. The best thing you can do is try to body it up, and hopefully you can corral it in time to get the out. But that's why you go attack those high choppers and try to get that short hop.
Once again, run rule is in effect. The official ruling, Lions reached on an error. And Markle at third base, you just saw. Hughes with 2 hits tonight. And he's down in the count, 0-2. Braden Randall started this inning, and he's on deck. And that one well off the mark. If Hughes clears the bases, this game's over. And he nubs this down the first base line and to the on-deck circle and rolls all the way to the dugout.
See how Syverson attacks Hughes after a bunch of off-speed stuff.
Line drive to right and gets down. Markle's in to score. Has his Leger. 12-3 ball game. And a 2-out rally continues for Ole Miss.
And again, if you're Ole Miss, this is a sign that you have been waiting on. Trayson Hughes with a 3-hit game, a couple ribbies. It's what you want to see out of that big transfer that you bring in. If he gets going, man, this lineup, top to bottom, looks real different.
In Ole Miss's offense, too, they've won their last 3 games pretty handedly. And all of these games, too, Matt, they've reached double-figure scoring.
Well, not just that, too. You know, I mean, it's not been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but the pitching has been solid for them. You know, again, that's the big question mark. We thought that they would hit coming into the season, but they've done it in so many different ways. They've been patient, working a ton of walks. They've done it with the long ball. 9 hits tonight. I mean, stolen base. I mean, they've really done everything well offensively over this stretch, which, again, the identity seems to be forming with this team. It's just chaos across the board on the base pass. Just cause pressure everywhere, and then keep finding the barrels, keep knocking the ball over the yard.
A dribbler to third. Gallert throws across, and there's out number 3. 12-3 game. Ole Miss on top as we go to the 9th.
see the numbers from Doyle. This is a guy that Ole Miss brought in expecting him to compete for the rotation spots. And we highlighted Hughes early in the year, same thing, where it's just been kind of tough out of the gate. But Hughes has found himself at the plate here tonight. And for Ole Miss, if they can get Doyle going, that would really help relieve some of these pitching issues that they have been dealing with injuries before the season. We have more technical difficulty. Man, I feel like a guy sitting on my porch yelling at clouds right now, The old man yelling at clouds. I mean, back in my day, we didn't have these issues. Just put the signs down.
People are stealing signs, though, these days, Matt. You got to...
That's what I heard. Multiple sports. No sport is safe.
No. And a swing and miss for Izzy Lopez, the senior. Pinch hitting for Jake McCutcheon, number 19. And he's takes a strike. And down 1-2. Off the end of the bat and into the seats. Lopez playing in just his second game this season. 0 for 1 at the plate in 2024. Played 27 games last year. 5 for 40 at the plate. He hit 125. And he stays alive. Liam Doyle's last outing was in that heavily lopsided game against High Point last Sunday. He threw an inning, struck out 2 batters, and allowed 1 hit. Threw 21 pitches. And Lopez continues to fight. Here's the 2-2 from Doyle. Strike 3 call. Locked him up inside.
That is some inside paint right there after a good AB. Doyle comes inside, gets right on the edge. Nice strikeout there.
And another pinch hitter for Missouri State, number 18, Jelani Rogers. Caden Bogenpole finishes the day 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts and a walk. And 1-1 the count. Jelani Rogers began his career at Florida Gulf Coast before going the JUCO route to Santa Fe College and found himself at Missouri State this season. It's his first year there. And the count's even at 2-2. Rogers has 24 at-bats coming into tonight. He struck out 10 times and make it 11. Back-to-back strikeouts for Doyle.
And again, one of those things we were wondering pregame, what's going the offense get it going, but getting Doyle and Hughes some confidence in a midweek not only pay dividends this weekend, but big dividends down the stretch. he definitely leaned into that one.
William Zero, the freshman, getting his first at bat of his college career.
That wasn't even close.
Oh.
Let's see. That's why you got the Evo shield in there.
Yeah, can't do that. Off the end of the bat. Picked up off the dirt, throw to first in time. Ball game. And another dominant win for Ole Miss. 12-3 winners over Missouri State tonight. And Ole Miss has won 4 straight games.
Tremendous job.